Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM20 Champions, episode 33. We're at Milan San Remo, so we have one of our 5 monuments up today. This is definitely the easiest one, I think, to pull off a victory on. And looking at the team we have, be really disappointed if we don't win today. We've got some excellent race day condition. The only one on a negative is Nebula, who's a domestique anyway. And then +5 for Cyclops, who is developing rapidly these days and has become quite formidable. Wolverine's good, Ant-Man's good, but yet riding Domestique today. Groot is amazingly quick as a sprinter, and actually with a +3 could probably just about do it, but there's so many good quality teammates that you might as well just take the good quality teammates because they are punchier and faster in almost every way except for the actual sprint. You might as well go with them because they're likely to win it. And then, of course, Spider-Man and Deadpool, the two main favorites. And Spider-Man's on a 0 race day condition, second worst on the entire team, but you'd still pick them. Look at what they've got: a 76 mountain, 82 hills, 77 sprint, 76 resistance. Yeah, looking pretty solid. And then Deadpool, the other favorite that we've got, 72 on the mountain. It's not fantastic, but with that +4, that makes it pretty tolerable. But 83 hill, 80 on the sprint, 80 kajillion on the sprint, on the stamina resistance side. Yeah, looking good. There was a comment over the last episode, and of course, last episode, if you saw, which I'm assuming most of you did, we have kind of hit a new level here to where we're starting to dominate. We had a single victory. It's just one. Okay, so it's worth discussion, but it's also worth not rushing to conclusion at this point. But we had a dominating performance on a climb with Hulk where we won comfortably by a minute and a half. Now, I have not had that since playing on normal difficulty. At least not, that was a regular basis type thing on regular difficulty. Playing on the harder difficulty, it happened a couple times, but only ever a couple times. Since going to the most difficult setting that this game has, it's never happened. That is the first time that I've seen that level of domination by any of my riders. Right now, it's an isolated case, though. It's happened once. Now, we are starting to claim a lot of victories. We are starting to sweep podiums, but only in the just. So we're still being provided a challenge, but it's definitely... this is uncharted territory, at least on this difficulty level. Not uncharted on normal. It's quite regular on normal to be able to dominate like that. Just having a firm grasp of the game mechanics, you can very often, especially when you start with a World Tour team and don't do what we've done here and start from scratch, and not just champions, but I mean like my regular career mode, the women's tour. We really start from the bottom end with about the worst scenario we could set for ourselves. So that all being said, we are approaching that stage, that level, that utter dominance. Eventually, when that happens, well, then, right, when it becomes a consistent thing. Right now, we haven't even participated in a Grand Tour yet. We have 0 career Grand Tour appearances, let alone victories or anything along those lines. And while we are dominating certain races, it's circumstantial. Today is a race that I would think we will dominate. And I think we are going to claim a monument victory today. I'm expecting. That doesn't mean it's automatic. There's still good riders in the field. We still have to play it right. Now, do I play it right more often than not? Sure. That's a lot of years of experience. And, it's wonderful feedback from the community as well that there's been a few adjustments to the way that I play over the course of my years playing PCM on the channel. Anyway, we still have a ways till that happens, okay? It's not been automatic. we're not guaranteed victory even today, even though, yes, I'm looking at our team going, it would be a shame if we lose this. Down to 45K, by the way. Breakaway, 5 riders, under a minute, so they're about to be caught. Peloton is shrinking, but at 139 riders, there's plenty of competitors left for the 2 final climbs. Of course, that final climb is where we are going to make the magic happen and run away with this thing. At least that's what I expect. I've won Milano San Remo quite a bit in this game. I find it one of the easier races to pull off that victory on. Kevin Vermark's won this thing 2 or 3 times. As have others. When we get there, when we dominate 3 Grand Tours, that's when we go into the final stage of this series. Final stage being, what is the outcome of the experiment? Not necessarily what's going to happen on race day, right? We'll have race day sorted out. We know what's going to happen on race day. We know we can pull off tons of victories. So it's going to be quick sim, quick sim, quick sim, and just kind of highlights of what the AI is doing. But more so, it's going to be a focus on the database and the outcomes with the database. Don't want to commit too much energy here. This is where you want to conserve a little bit. It's okay to slip backwards because you have enough time to recover. What you can't have happen on this climb is getting dropped from the group. That's the devastating part. But if you stay up, you're good. You can see only a handful of riders have been dropped. 142 still left in the peloton. No breakaway anymore. And we've already recovered to the front. That's our entire team up there already. So we're good with 20K to go. We will set up a sprint train fairly soon. You got to do it before the final climb. But I think we can cover a couple more kilometers before we set that up. Back up to 100, or back right at 140 riders at the moment. All right. Now's a good time to start setting that up. So while I'm doing so, let's see if I can double up on what I'm trying to do. I think Deadpool's going to be let out by Spider-Man because of the race day condition bonuses. And then we're looking at, I think it was Cyclops next. Yes. And then Ant-Man, Wolverine, Groot are all pretty dang similar. Nebula's the one weak link on the team today. It's weird that she's been that, but she is. She's Cobble in time trial. That's her strength. And she is a bit far back. Where is Groot? Groot is further up. Let's go ahead and go with Groot first instead. Gel for both of those 2. And we'll get moving. All right. So I could only really concentrate on one thing there to get that done quickly. Well, anyway. Groot, come on. You can outride Wolverine, right? Can't you? There you go. Okay, and here comes Nebula as well. So now that Nebula is here, go ahead and slip back. Let Nebula go first. And now that the whole team's up front, we can push a little bit harder as we approach that final climb. Let me go ahead and hit pause on what I'm talking about long-term of the series. We'll get into that with our next race. Let's go ahead and focus on claiming victory here. Okay, up to 97 as we approach. We're going to take this left-hander, and then there's going to be another little right-hander, and up we go.
The finish line is getting close. The riders just passed the
okay, gel for those guys. And we are already in that optimum space. Nebula. Try to grab the back wheel of Deadpool to break toe, and then when you slip off, oops, we're clear. Okay, 97 sounds good. We've got plenty, under 8K to go. Doing some damage up and down the team. However, we are already approaching the top. Holy cow, that's fast. Groot, out of energy. Go ahead and replace Nebula in the back end there. Okay, there's the top. And then we attack the descent.
Only 5 kilometers left.
As we aren't actually attacking at all at the moment, but anytime we can, we will push that tempo. Still 100 riders, now 50 going over the top, but you can see Wolverine hasn't actually attacked at all. And that is down to not being very quick. Oh, Gel. Well, that's okay. Oh, hello. What's happened here? Okay, Spider-Man, you're just chasing now. Okay, Deadpool. 1.3 and Groot. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe not. Like I said, we've got plenty of winning to do. Cyclops for the win. I told you we should have this one under control. Ant-Man, Wolverine, Deadpool, Groot, Spider-Man, and then Hagita. A 1 through 6 finish, sweeping the entire top 5 in the standings. Well, top 6 technically. And then finally, Nebula is going to come in, still have a decent finish herself in 59th. But yeah, sweeping the top 6. Ouch. Monument victory. Cyclops, who took it in the end, surprisingly. So we've got a bit of a random one here just for the sake of the challenge. It's stage 4 at the Tour of Catalonia. Gamora has won a punchy stage, but then fell ill the next day. She's actually in a good race day condition today, despite still being ill, and sits high up the overall placement, just outside of the top 10. Hulk has also won a stage of this race already. It's only stage 4. That's 2 stage victories through the first 3. But we sit here on stage 4. We're going to ride for Hulk. You can see, though, the pace has been pretty intense, and as we approach this Category 1 climb, Storm is already about to get dropped. Doctor Strange also struggling, and at a 79, we are definitely drifting backward. There's only a single rider left off the front, but on just this warm-up climb before we go into the real climbing, we're already in a shrinking peloton, and even some of our own riders are suffering. And very much in need of water, so somebody's going to have to get on that here. Storm out the back. Let's just go ahead and bring it on down here. Doctor Strange is fading, does not have the energy to go get water, but we need to get that water like right now. Thor does not have the energy to do that. Ant-Man does. Why don't you protect Gamora, and then Ant-Man can go fetch the water. All right, so 86. Oh, sneaky. I hate when that happens. No gap, and then all of a sudden somebody just sits up and creates a massive gap in an instant. That's not going to help our front 2 getting their water either. Doctor Strange, pull this back, please. And for some reason, Ant-Man just kept on drifting backwards. Oh, still going. Are you going to pull the group back? No, you're just going to ride solo. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, yep, that just happened. Not that massive of a gap, and it'll take care of that water issue for these front 2. Alright, you have to take over at the front here, Thor. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. I think you might have this covered.
This is the last third of the race. The team leaders have their minds fixed on today's goal.
And there we go. It is back together. So let's get Gamora back into a front position. Thor is riding protection there for now. Ant-Man's definitely going to go in to provide support for Hulk situation. Well, we're already coming up on the base of the climb. Turn left here and up we go. It's not too bad early on, but we're 21k from the top. This is a 21 kilometer climb, and Gamora still has not recovered her position. She's already on a higher heart rate. Yeah, that's not a good start to the climb. But we do have 4 riders in good shape.
Uh-oh, the pack is quick in the pace.
Doctor Strange, just go to auto, please. Thor, go ahead and use your gel. And we're down to 16k. Nobody's pushing too hard at the moment. I think we could certainly make that happen here at some point, but with only 4 riders, I don't want to push it too early. 13k. Okay, Thor is drifting back. Doctor Strange has been dropped. Thor is about to be dropped. Now it's 71 riders left. So we are seeing some tempo. And you can see the punishment. we're feeling it. Ant-Man is getting tired. Let's go ahead and gel up for them. And we might want to do Iron Man as well. In fact, let's do Iron Man because we need to protect Gamora. Down to 65. And we're down to 8K also. This might be a time to start the magic. Though maybe I want to wait till the final climb for that. So there's still a good final climb there. Okay. Pace, not so bad right now. It's opened up the gaps behind us. However, we've only lost a few more riders who just couldn't quite hang in there. 57. This is KOM. Not worried about that. Ant-Man just makes it through, but Gamora and Hulk are in great shape. And Iron Man will definitely recover on this descent. Ant-Man might recover. Okay, that recovery is beginning. 24K to go. And we're going to knock off half of those almost immediately before we go into this final climb. 51 left in the group. And I've got 4 riders for it. Okay, you can see Iron Man's approaching max. It looks like Ant-Man's not going to make it, so they're going to be our lead-out rider. Those two have already used their gels. We're going to just start with that, and we are going to take over
15 kilometers remaining.
Very early on in this one. Let's go ahead and up the speed a little bit, and then 13K to go. It's not all climbing, but there's the base. Hulk follow Gamora. And then we will follow Iron Man, who is clearly better off than Ant-Man right now. And Ant-Man's going to get us started. They are a 78, 77 on the mountains hills, so it doesn't matter which one we go with. Set whatever tempo we want. 80 on the resistance. So let's see what happens if we do an 82. That is not enough right now. 83. 84. Drifting backwards. That's impressive that Sivikov is pushing that hard right now. This is going to start leaving a lot of riders off the back soon. I mean, if Ant-Man's losing the wheel at an 85 with a 78 mountain rating,
Only 10 kilometers
still drifting back. Now going at 86. 87, and we're finally starting to make up a little bit of ground here. Still 50 riders. That's pretty impressive, but I think that number is going to really drop off soon. Oh, we get blocked off. Left-hand side of the road there. Ant-Man, come on, Ant-Man. You son of a... You were moving up, and then all of a sudden... we're already seeing moves at the top. And Ant-Man really cost us there. We went back really quick. Got blocked off, and we're going to have to play catch-up here. 7K to go. Plenty of time. However, last few K are on the flat.
The group is slowly thinning out due to such a frantic pace.
Okay, Ant-Man's done. That was a lot of kilometers that they pulled off, and we are going to quickly progress now, setting up our last 2. There's only 2 riders up the road. Okay, and we're set for those last 2. 5K to go, and nearly to the top. There's our 2 riders. Pogacar and Martinez. Vlasov going for the attack. That's what was being set up, but you can see most of them can't handle it. But this is the top right here. So we are going over the top with just 12 riders left. Now, Gamora would be the one we want in a sprint, but Hulk's not too bad. 1.6K. Hulk.
And there goes the mad burst for the final sprint.
Sprinting it out for the finish. Oh, there's a big uphill here. Well, not going to get the win today. And Hulk is dropping back. We're going to lose the podium entirely. Oh. Bernal takes second. Yates takes third. Koos, Hulk slips all the way to 5th place. Could have, should have won. So, we're not there yet. The total domination is not there yet. Especially on the climbing side. We're good. we're good. The numbers are good, but we are not invincible at all at this point. Certain types of races, especially the punchy ones with downhill sections, yeah, you can pick us every time. Sprints, very competitive. Good, strong lead outs, but not necessarily the fastest sprinters yet. And climbing especially. Lots of good climbers. Team action can be solid. But you can see there, even pushing mid-80s, we drifted back, and then we really got caught behind, and we were playing catch-up, and that hurt at the end. We were flying through at a pace much better than everybody else, but we were coming from behind. We were coming from behind because we had the right position, but I was conserving, and then we got cut off. And the moment we got cut off, we dropped 10 wheels in 50 feet, and then we were just fighting through the pack. So we were almost right where we needed to be. And we literally drifted one bike length back further than we needed to be. And that one rider cutting us off. That was it. And that cost us the race. Otherwise, we may have won, and maybe not. You never know. That's a what if. And we don't know quite how that what if would have been. We were certainly close. Should have been second today. Hulk fades just before the finish line. That last little uphill, you don't see it on the mini-map. Or at least not, you can see there's undulation, but you don't see that the finish is pretty steep uphill again. We went a little bit early. That's on me. Anyway, back to the point. Let's finish that off. So when we get to the point of total domination, we're going to finish this season regardless. But if we're at that point at the end of this season, then the focus is going to be on the database and the development over the 1 or 2 seasons till they hit their 20 levels and see how far they get, see how well they progress. I still want to know the results. I still want to see the data and figure out what is possible, what is capable, what could be. So I will test that out regardless. But in terms of actually going out and participating, if we're just blowing everybody away all the time, I'm not going to get creative to handicap myself. We'll do what we do as long as that's a thing to do. And then as soon as that's no longer a thing to do, then we just turn our attention to the database and wrap the series up from there. All right, so we're at Decathlon. That's where we'll finish up the episode today. And it's going to just about wrap up the classic season. No, actually it's not. We've got one more episode of that as we've got a few monuments coming up. Ronde van Vlaanderen, Paris-Roubaix, all still coming. So excited for those. And those will be a big test because nobody has an 80 cobble rating, I believe, yet on the team. So as good as we are, we're still not quite there in that regards. Liège-Bastogne-Liège, Amstel Gold, I think will perform very well at those races. And today, we're likely to be sitting pretty for this one as well. We'll see if that translates into a victory, though, because again, we're not the greatest in the sprint at this point. We just kind of have a strong level across the team. Very balanced riders. All right, first series of climbs are now behind us. They're going to get a little steeper through this next set of climbs. I do like how this race ramps up. Decathlon, that is. And then we'll get into those cobbled sections. And then finally, the last one is the toughest of all. It's the longest cobbled section and the sharpest uphill climb. Nice little combination. But then you still have plenty of time for the run into the finish, making it generally a sprinter's day. You can see at the moment, we're down to 106 in the peloton as a large group was split off the back of that last climb. Some of them making it back on board. Here's that biggest climb. And the cobbles, and we're okay. I didn't see that one actually classified. Monteberg, 1.1k, there we go. And now we're going to set up for the cobbles, which means we need to up the tempo a bit. We're also down to 65K, so that final stretch for getting water needs to happen, and probably happen right now before it's too late, before we get into those cobbles. If we are already most of the way back up when we hit the first cobble, we should be okay. So Black Panther, come on, come on. You can, ooh, 5-star. It's only 400 meters, but 5-star is going to do a lot of damage to somebody who is trying to gather water. Try to get him right in the middle. Very rough cobbles through there. There we go. He's okay. He's okay. Now you want to try to find your way through. Christmas truce. Nice name for the cobble section. Obviously referring to World War I, and certainly not the American Civil War. Christmas truce. Catacombs. Yeah. Alright, well, he's made it through there. It suffered only slightly. Still 9 riders away, but they're under a minute. That's the last of the cobbled sections for now, until we get into that last bit. At the moment, we have just 65 left in the peloton. The 50 behind have a definite shot at getting back in there, but I think that first group that was dropped is now long gone. And there certainly is some fatigue in this group, but not too bad for us, that is. And we stay at 60. Now it's coming back, maybe. 50, now 43. Now just 10 trying to get on.
The pack is
42K to go, and it's back up. They just make contact right before we hit this climb. This could split things off again, though. And this is also our time to start making a push. Stay to the front. Use those domestiques. They're going to have to work harder to keep us there with the higher effort. However, you do not want to be drifting back. Banneberg. Okay, the next one. 35K to go. And you know what? I've never tried this, but let's see what happens. Okay, Black Panther's going to be at the front. Star-Lord's going to follow. Nebula, strong classics rider, but not a sprinter. Explains why she's not doing too bad at this point. We want our sprinters, so that's not going to be Spider-Man. That is going to be Groot. It's not going to be Black Widow. Cyclops to lead out, and Groot. Okay, gel up for Black Panther, and let's go hard. Let's see what we can do. 76 riders in the front group. Approaching the climb and emerging out front. And let's see if we can put a herding in. Oh, is this a downhill cobble section? Looks like it might be. Kemmelberg, 1K. Star-Lord ready. 32K. Oh, it's right near the top. There you go. 5-star section, 1K.
So special frames were developed. They offer more flexibility
and we're already
and are
through
better
it.
at absorbing vibrations.
And
This
we're down to
takes a lot of
21
strain off
riders.
the rider's
That's what I was
forearms.
looking for, was to create some sort of split. Now, trying to maintain that long term is a different matter. 19 riders now. Okay. Black Panther to the back. Star-Lord to the front. And we're going to keep pushing. We want these 19 riders to stay clear. That really increases our chances and probably eliminates a lot of the sprinters from contention, giving us a real shot at winning the day. 26K is a long distance to cover. Gel up for Nebula. She'll be taken over here soon. 23K. Still, Star-Lord did not lead out that long. But we've got a lot more energy for Nebula taking over now. Star-Lord and Black Panther were the ones that were already pretty fatigued. It's back up to 36. That group able to catch up. However, how much energy are they going to have left, and are they going to be able to make their way to the front when we are keeping up a high tempo?
There's nobody out in front, so
Yeah,
with
20K.
less than 20 kilometers to go, it's beginning to look as though it's going to end in
And
a mass
unlike
sprint.
Star-Lord, Nebula is keeping the tempo up for a much longer time. Whoa, hello, Paulette, Van Aert, and Youngles
He goes. He's giving it
going
one
for the
last go.
attack. 17.5K. Don't need to push too hard here. They're wasting a lot of energy, and we're only using up the one rider.
Flat tire. It always happens at the wrong moment.
And on to Spider-Man now. Two, Ballerini and Paulette, really taking off here. I can see this doing a lot of damage to the group. Set these two to auto. They've been dropped down to 29 and 2. Again, they're pushing, but we're keeping a steady tempo, which is keeping us. You can see Groot, Cyclops still very fresh as we slowly reel these two in. 11K to go. And it's back together. Next attack, though, Asgreen,
The finish line
Nasen,
is getting close. The riders just passed
all the
10
classic
kilometers
riders,
road time.
one by one, destroying their chances of winning the race, where we manage it smoothly. 8K to go. Stuyven joining those two this time. Here comes Jorgensen. Okay, on to Black Widow, 6K to go. Nebula, Spider-Man struggling at the back.
finish line is
It's
getting
31
close. The
riders.
just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
Konashev going clear. 4K to go. And I've still got 2 riders that are fresh, and you know that not many are going to be fresh in the field. Guaranteed. All right, final 2. 2K to go. And that's a sprint for Cyclops then. And you can see how we're flying through. Come on, Groot. Come on, Groot. Did we go too late? Or are we just fast? Oh, this is going to be a second place. Jakobsen, too quick. Too quick. Groot's got like 1% red bar left, so we did time that right. Jakobsen just too damn fast. Jakobsen for the win. Groot takes second. Damar, Case Bull, Van Aert. Cyclops takes 6th. Good strong lead out there. We set that up, but it still was not enough. That's why I said we're not quite there yet. We're not utterly dominant. We're close. So it's still going to be some time. It could be before the end of the season when that happens. But this season, it's still going to be a mixed bag. We're going to get a lot of wins. A lot more than we've been used to this year. But definitely not achieved utter dominance yet. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.